All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Becca Briley, SWIHA Success Coach, coming to you live with Brian Sheldon. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Becca.
How are you?
Doing
Good to
awesome.
see
How are
you.
you? You too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me in this time and space today to explore what we call here at Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma. And this is specifically for the on-campus spotlight. So for those of you who are living in and around Tempe, Phoenix, in Arizona, or for those of you who are looking to travel and move here to complete this program, which happens all the time, this is your sneak peek into that program. So we will feature that today, but I first want y'all to meet Brian Sheldon, who is our academic advisor of this program. So hi, Brian. How long have you been the advisor of this program specifically?
I've been advising at SWIHA for 2 years now. I've been advising this program specifically for about 6 months.
Awesome. So bring your questions. We're here to answer the live Q&A. Make sure you can see my screen. And let's just roll through what this is. And the cool part about hosting these webinars with you guys as a success coach myself, with a background in marketing, is I also am a healing arts practitioner, aka health coach, yoga teacher, hypnotherapist. So lots of tools in my tool belt, and Brian has that same background. So not only are we holistic entrepreneurs ourselves, we also are SWIHA employees. So it's nice to be able to answer the academic questions and to be able to answer the questions on the realities of becoming a holistic entrepreneur, owning your own business. It's not rainbows and butterflies all the time, right? It can be hard. There can be challenges, but it's knowing ourselves good enough to be able to conquer and power through all of the obstacles, because failure is a part of success, right? Right, Brian?
Yeah, I think James Patrick, one of our coaches here, likes to call them unsuccessful attempts.
And they're required. Like when you look at all of the very famous and successful people in the world, they failed more than they succeeded until they became very good at what they did. The key was consistency, right? We don't give up. So I actually have the Prosperity Bible sitting next to me, which is one of those key foundations. So for those of you on social media joining us, you can leave questions, comments. We love to hear from you. And for those of you who are participating today, please allow yourself to ask the questions. You can raise your hand. I can unmute you, but share. And for all watching now, or will rewatch this, let us know your why. Why are you here? What is calling you to become an integrative healing arts practitioner? Maybe what does that mean to you now? And then you can explore what that means to you once you get into the actual program. So Tabby, where are you located? Just want to know where you are in the world. And let's get into the details here of our newly revised program, which, oh, by the way, on campus starts January 8th. Enrollment closes 2 weeks prior. Side note, tuition will increase as of January 1st this year to $20 per classroom hour. We're sitting at around 18 now. So if you want to enroll in this program, now is the time, or any program for that matter, to grandfather yourself into that pricing. So today we're going to talk about the core curriculum of this program. We're going to talk about coaching focus, what it means to be a coach, specialty focuses, and then answer live questions. You don't have to hold your questions to the end, though. You can bring them all or ask at the end, whatever you're comfortable with. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about the core curriculum. And first start off with our core courses. So Brian, do you want to share first, and then I will piggyback off of you?
Yeah, certainly. So
Okay.
I'm looking at the program sheet right now because one of the things that I love about this program is that here at SWIHA, our education team is always trying to kind of adapt and evolve and tweak the program so that it can support our students and then soon to be graduates in the best way. And with that, we've introduced a new business class, which we'll be including towards the end of the program. But one of the great things about this is we have these core entrepreneurial classes that are a piece of coming here, learning the different modalities, and then going out and taking these classes. Becca's got it right up here. So you can see that BC 530, the intro to entrepreneurship and self-empowerment. It's one of the first classes we teach. I actually teach that class along with James Patrick here at
Yay.
SWIHA. It's an awesome class to get started, helps to kind of introduce everyone to what it's like to be a holistic entrepreneur and really dive into that self-empowerment, which is a huge piece of moving forward as a business owner. And then towards the end of the program, we have those other classes you see there under the BC 540, BC 542, and 543. Within those classes, you create a 10-week business plan. So James, Patrick, and Roy Bell will walk you through how to create a business plan for yourself, to create an LLC, all the different things that come with that, and then how to actually take that business plan and the vision that you might have to be a holistic entrepreneur, and then enact that in the applied entrepreneurship and business in action class. So a really great, well-rounded intro to business. It's not an MBA. It's not a, you need to have an expert idea of what social media is like or anything like that. It's a beautiful way to be introduced and not feel overwhelmed with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur.
And this does not come right at the beginning of your program, right, Brian? This
Nope.
comes more towards the end.
Yeah, just that first class. It's the, learning how to step into the idea, the vision of being an entrepreneur. And then there's a pretty good gap, depending on the length of the program. It's usually towards like the final quarter of the program that those business classes come in.
Which is everything, because you might have an intention and what your vision is as you step into the program. And then as you deep dive, my favorite word of this program is integrative. And I didn't really embody this word well until you actually have to do your work, right? So part of your curriculum, when you're learning to hold sacred space for others, is you're having to take a real, honest, good look at self to be able to feel qualified enough to do that. Do you think that's a big part of the component, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of our core values here. I was guiding a new student orientation the other day, and I love that because it keeps reminding me of the values that we have here at SWIHA and the standard that we hold ourselves to here as educators, and then the expectations that we have of our students, because we want everyone to come here and be successful. And a big piece of that is like healing and transformation, a safe container, right? So knowing that, like Becca said, doing our own work, our healing work, our shadow work, whatever it might be, is a piece of that. And it helps to set us up to be the best holistic entrepreneurs that we can be.
Right. So, I mean, overall, this program, it equips you with wellness tools. You get introduced to mind, body, spirit balance in your life. It prepares you to meet the needs of those who, are needing that guidance, right? Maybe this could be new for some people. Maybe they've been working on it for a long time. Maybe they think they've got it mastered and need some accountability in a certain area. It's going to be different for everyone that comes your way. But as you go through the program, these classes are going to support you as you find who you want to work with, right? Who your niche is, what your demographic is that you want to work with. A lot of times it's a reflection of you, right? Like your ideal client, your avatar is basically a kind of a mirror of who you are, which does make a lot of sense. So let's take a look at the other core courses. Brian introduced us to the business, like the entrepreneurial block, which, when you connect with an admissions coach and have that honest conversation about what you want to do with this, right? So if you're looking to make this a business for yourself, whether it's full-time, part-time to start or just your side work, that's an important key component, because as a Title IV funded school, you can use financial aid if you qualify, which is an amazing blessing. We were just reaccredited for 5 more years, which is fabulous. It's an honor. So, you know, what does that tell us? That says that in the eyes of the government, they see our education as entrepreneurial, that you can make an income if you apply yourself correctly. If you know what it takes to succeed, and knowing self is essential in this space, right? So applying your inner entrepreneur, we call it. So let's talk about our core courses next, which are very powerful. Somatic Psychology, I got to take that when Shelly was teaching that on campus about 2 years ago. Perfect timing in my life. It's funny how the timing is just always right. Heart-centered leadership, spiritual coaching and ethics, coaching the hero within, kind of like that hero's journey. Psychology of addiction, understanding the shadow, right? We're all technically addicted to something, whether we're aware of it or not. Building resilience and stress management, and then an EFT introduction level 1. So these are powerful courses that can really tie in together, holding that sacred space for others, but doing that deeper work. So when I mentioned the word integrative, it means really embodying and applying what you're learning into your own practice and being able to hold that space for others without self being involved, right? What do you want to say about these core courses, Brian?
I think these courses are some of the most important ones that we offer, because obviously as a part of the program, and we'll get to this in a moment, but you'll choose a few different modalities, classes that interest you, the things that you really want to support your clients with. But the classes that Becca mentioned, these ones right here, the TCs, the Somatic Psychology, the Heart-Centered Leadership, the Coaching the Hero Within, Psychology of Addiction, these are the classes that are going to help to put that mirror up, to show us the things in ourselves that we might want to shift and change so that we can show up in a better way. And so it's that really beautiful self-work so that we can learn all of these amazing tools to support our clients as we also support ourselves. So yeah, I'm actually in Somatic Psychology right now. Have a couple more weeks. It's an amazing class, just helping me to understand more about my nervous system and how I show up. Yeah, it's been really beautiful.
That's funny. I love learning about the nervous system. This is not a book in the program, but this is a good book for those of you wanting to learn more about the nervous system. It's called Anchored. Can you see that?
Nice.
Pretty good book. I mean, always doing my work, right? But that is a powerful one. The mindfulness is a big tool that you learn in there. Breathing, box breathing, which is actually the same thing as tactical breathing, which they teach to soldiers to self-regulate in certain situations where they're overstimulated. So many cool little tools that you learn. Practice on yourself, practice with your classmates. That's a huge part of the curriculum here. So even when you're in the classroom learning, right, you're absorbing the information, you do get class time to partner up, group up, go out in the hallways and actually practice what you're learning, which I think is the most useful key component. Because, in like mainstream education, it's like, okay, I'm going to teach you, you take a test, turn it in, you probably forget half of it, right? And then boom, you're out in the world. We really want you to practice, practice, practice. And that's what being a healing arts practitioner is all about, right? It's practice. So yes, these are very powerful courses. I love that you're in that right now. Brian, who's teaching it?
Brad, and then Casey will drop by every now and then as well.
Oh, what a goodie. All right, very good. So let's keep moving through here. We talked about a lot of the core courses. And Tabby, let me know if you have any questions as we're moving through the core curriculum into our coaching focus. Now, even though we started as a massage school like almost 35 years ago, we've added so much to our curriculum. And I would say it's safe to say, Brian, let me know if you agree or not, that life coaching is probably the core program at our school. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. I would say coaching in general. And, this umbrella is something that I just had a conversation with Casey, our founder, about, what's the difference between life coaching and health and wellness coaching and intuitive guidance coaching. And yeah, there are little things that separate them, right? One focuses more on health and wellness, more maybe like a medical side. One focuses more on intuitive with different, things involved, tarot reading and astrology, and then you have life coaching, which is really focused on kind of the more spiritual side. But at the heart of all of those things is coaching. As a practitioner, we need to learn how to hold space, to ask good questions, to know how to feel into ourselves when we might be sensing some energy from a client that'll help us to understand them better and help to move the session in a better way. So coaching is at the foundation of everything we do, everything we teach. And so no matter what route you choose to go, all three of these focuses, the different focuses of coaching, are all centered, like you said, around life coaching.
Yes. And I want to clarify the word coaching, right? Which I did with Brian last time, but because we think a coach is someone who like tells us what to do, who really gives us that motivation to push us forward. And at the baseline of coaching is, I would say, empathy, holding sacred space, but it's mostly asking the powerful questions. We know that our clients have all of the answers within themselves to move forward where they want to go, right? We never want to project or transfer any of our thoughts or ideas onto clients. The power is in the asking. The power is in the question. So you learn, and this is valid and important in any relationship, right? Especially in romantic relationships, professional relationships, with friends, with family. If we can get curious and ask the questions, we can honor each other's truths. And then the follow-up is the accountability. How can I support you in that forward action? Here's what I hear you say, right? We have the Gottman kind of the rules, right? You have mirroring, like, okay, here's what I hear you say. Validation, right? And asking the questions, like, can you help me understand? Can you clarify? And then as a coach, where you get to be the coach / cheerleader, is the accountability component. So you get to support them on their health and wellness journey. Maybe it's with food, maybe it's with movement, maybe it's meditation, self-regulation. Maybe someone wants to change behaviors that they've been, just recycling through for years and years. Maybe they want to get more involved in their spiritual work, right? What does that look like for them, not you? We even can talk about and honor, religion. What religion are they, that you can work some of their practices in there. And that's going to be based on them, right? So then coaching, whatever their goals may be, big or small, maybe it's professional, maybe it's personal, maybe it's both. You would be that person to help them stay focused on that path. And as an entrepreneur, you can have one session with somebody, you can have that discovery call to see if you're a good fit. Usually that's complimentary, 30 minutes. Not telling you that's what you have to do. Common practice, but you could put together programs, right? You could do a 21-day change a habit, right? Program for a client. You could do a 3 months. You could offer 1 year, right, of support. So whatever you feel is right for you, and as you get comfortable and work into your own practice, you'll start to unlock these ideas and what you can offer as either one, a health and wellness coach, an intuitive guide, or spiritual coach, or a life coach. Maybe you want to market yourself a whole nother route, right? So Brian, I know you have your own practice. Let's talk about you for a minute. How do you put yourself out there as a coach in the world? Like, how do you tee that up? You talk to somebody.
That's such a good question. I mean, I think it's something that for me is continuously evolving. I know the modalities that I connect with the most deeply. So I guide a lot of breath work and sound healing, and I'm a yoga teacher as well. Like Becca said, I wear a lot of different hats, just like she does. But it's all about the way that I choose to present myself. So I love working with groups. I facilitate a lot of men's work and things like that. And so I found that coaching has helped me in all of these different areas because, like Becca said, I learned how to ask the good questions, right? And the good questions aren't the complex questions. They're the questions that help to support our clients in understanding themselves, right? Or the people that we work with. So I'll guide hikes in the area, in the Phoenix area. And I love to kind of set everyone up with a prompt, and then we'll take a moment to check in later on in the hike. So giving everyone time to sit with what I've asked them, and being able to integrate these different things, like in Becca said, the integrative piece of the healing arts practitioner. So as a coach, I wear a lot of different hats, but for me, it's about asking the right questions. It's about holding that space, and really just being able to tune in to how everyone's feeling, because I think a lot of the time people have a hard time being vulnerable, and to be able to hold the space where people feel like they can be themselves and express that vulnerability, and always be listening. That's what I find the best is about being a coach.
Oh, that was big right there. I'm so glad you used the V word, vulnerability, because that is the hardest thing we could maybe do as humans, because it makes us look at and own our imperfections, which is really hard to do because we all think we just have it right? Sometimes.
Sure.
But in actuality, it is the bravest and the strongest thing that you can do, is to step into that vulnerable space and to really open up to look at things that don't feel good to look at, right? And that's where change happens. That's where I say that's the space where miracles occur. Because when we can stop blocking ourselves from ourselves, then we have all the freedom to move in the direction that we intentionally choose to go. And getting past that first hurdle is everything. So let's dive into your specialty focuses. So we talked about the coaching component. Let's talk about your specialties and what we could offer here. And Jasper does this, right, Brian? So your partner, would you call her a health and wellness coach with holistic nutrition as her focus?
Yeah, she coaches, she does personal training. She's all about the holistic nutrition. She's a plant-based, so she's taught me a lot about being able to integrate more. The term is vegan, but I like plant-based better, because I think just to put ourselves in boxes with labels like that doesn't support anyone, and so many people are turned off by even that term. So she is, yes, a vegan, but she's also introduced me to some really incredible plant-based recipes. And so just having awareness around the nutrition piece as well.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. And I took the holistic nutrition program back in the day. Love Janet Lee. She taught me not to cook the nutrition out of my food.
Yep.
Like, not cooking food was this whole new world to me, eating raw and then substituting really poisonous chemicals in our food with healthy replacements, like, was life-changing. And just having a really good relationship with food, right? Which can come with self-image, self-love, body awareness, body acceptance, and really just honoring your health, right? And that food is our fuel, and it actually is our medicine. So having it be that as your core, so you don't have to take medication down the road because of dis-ease that sets in, it's food. Food is everything.
Yeah.
So very cool. So that is one of them. So you could become a health and wellness coach with holistic nutrition as your focus, if you're a foodie and really just are all about the nutrition. Now we are integrating, and this is the new addition and exciting. We are filling up this program quickly, is the modern spirituality celebrant and end of life doula. So this is that sacred space that you get to hold when someone is transitioning from this place, right? Which is beautiful. And as mainstream human beings, I would say in the world, some of us fear death, right? A lot of people fear it. It's not comfortably talked about, and it can be, right? And it should be. One of the things, Brian, that when I did a webinar with Joel, every person who shared, and we had a lot of sharing in there, this was the message. Don't bypass that experience, right? So when you have someone who's about to transition and they're asking their family, am I dying? Am I dying? And they want to say, no, you're staying here. Everything's fine. No, you're going to be okay. And really what they said, what was needed was to just honor it and say, yes, and it's okay. And it's beautiful. And what can we do to support you through this process, right? To make it sacred and to move through that part of our humanity. That was literally everyone who shared, Brian. That was what they said. It's like, don't take that opportunity away. Don't bypass it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was powerful. It was powerful. So that's what it's all about. It's being able to hold that space for people who are transitioning and their family members. That can be the challenge, right? Of people like denial, no, right? There could be financial battles. Somebody might not be able to make their own decision, and it's having to hold that space to go, are you making this decision for you, or are you making this decision for this soul who's transitioning? So being able to coach people in that space and hold your own, right, takes practice. So you can become ordained in that program. You can hold that space. You can conduct ceremonies and support all involved in that process. So a spiritual transformation focus. Do you want to talk about that piece, Brian, to start?
Yeah, certainly. So this would be our more energetic side of the program. So working with polarity or cranial unwinding, incorporating some Reiki in there. We have 3 different specialties of the Reiki. So we have the traditional Reiki, shamanic, and holy Reiki. So lots of different options within the spiritual transformation, again, focusing more on the energy work. I had never heard of polarity. I'd heard of Reiki a little bit before I came to SWIHA, but I'd never heard of polarity or cranial unwinding. And I go and receive sessions all the time. We have a really amazing massage clinic here at SWIHA where our students practice their hours. And then we have licensed therapists as well who are trained in all of these amazing different modalities. So many benefits. I think a lot of people think just about the physical as far as pain goes. I'm going to go get a massage because my body hurts. But there are these ways to move energy that I've only scraped the tip of the iceberg with. I've taken like the first couple polarity classes and I have some experience with shamanic Reiki, but some of our students and practitioners here who work with these energetic modalities are just so talented, and you have to experience it. It's hard to explain, but it's all about moving energy and all of these different amazing ways to learn from the teachers that we have here. We have Gary Strauss, who comes from California from his institute. We have Kim Pinkley and Jen Sanders, who are just absolutely amazing. They've been teaching here for years. So it's, yeah, I wish I knew more about energetics. For me, it's all about the feeling. I don't need to understand it as much, but I'm always super grateful to receive.
I will talk about the energetics a little bit from this standpoint, from the spiritual standpoint, which is connected to the emotional body. So as this focus and with energy work, for me, in my practice, and I will declare that. So for me, energy is emotion that needs to move. It is energy that holds past experiences that need to be released, honored, let go, so that it doesn't get stuck anywhere in the physical form, which can show up as disease as we move forward. So, a lot of times, and I'm a Reiki practitioner. I actually went with Casey and many others years ago to Japan to get attuned. So let's just try a little piece of Reiki right now. So just rub your hands together, like Mother Mary, who teaches Holy Reiki, right? We're just going to do one thing, and I'm called to do this one for some reason. So just hover your hands over your throat chakra, as close as you can to your throat. Envision the color blue. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And if you could ask yourself the question that comes with this energetic space is, what is it that you are not saying that needs to be said? Maybe there's someone in your life that you need to say something, and maybe you need to look at how you say it before it's said. Maybe we need to ask for forgiveness. Maybe we need to forgive another. Maybe we just need to speak truth to someone. Maybe it's ourselves. And really take a look at that and honor that. And let it move. And just see if you feel anything in your throat space. A lot of times in Reiki, you might hear your client coughing. You might feel some blockage. You might actually have the blood in your throat like release, right? There could be some redness. So then open your eyes and just come to that space of, wow, it's the hovering over hands intentionally. If I know that this chakra is about speaking, right? Then whatever resides there in our emotional or mental body, in our spiritual body, it can be revealed to us. So how interesting, right? And then that's different for everybody. So what came up for me is different for what came up for Brian. Brian, did anything good come up for you?
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Is
Yeah, I like that you, not that there's something that hasn't been said, but thinking before I speak. So checking in to see if it's something that I really do want to say. So I like that all.
Yeah, intentionally speaking is essential in our lives, because we can't survive without effective communication. Well, so thank you for joining me in that practice. Let's jump to advanced hypnotherapy, which is amazing, led by Linda Bennett. We call the queen of hypnotherapy here at SWIHA. And this is to help people really dive into their subconscious, which is our driving force, right? We don't realize how programmed we are to act, to speak, to behave, and to just live out our lives in the world. So you get to become a hypnotherapist, and there's advanced classes that you can take in this program to help you become more well-versed as a hypnotherapist. I only took the basic program, but I'm excited to move forward with more of the in-depth electives. I loved script writing. So the clients that I would work with, obviously I would coach them, and I would take scripts that, were given at SWIHA to use. You can edit them. I bought myself like a membership to where you can get scripts and edit them so to use them with your clients. So I will be honest, I worked at SWIHA for 10 years without getting a hypnotherapy session. When I did, I was like, oh, wow. I had no idea And Brian, I actually did this before I spoke at Gifts and Graces, so I would not use a certain word on stage when I was speaking. And it worked. It worked. So a lot of people think of hypnotherapy with public speaking. I did that and it worked. I learned to pause instead of using a certain word, which you'll notice I'm not using it now because I will start using it if I do. But how do you feel about hypnotherapy and this as focus for practitioners?
I love it. It's up there with my favorite programs. I won't rank them, but when I came to SWIHA, I didn't know for sure if I wanted to follow through with hypnotherapy and ended up doing the full advanced program.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's changed my life. It truly has, like you said, it's connecting with the subconscious, those things that I don't necessarily recognize on the surface, being able to yeah, it's such a beautiful modality.
Powerful.
Super powerful. Yeah. And I actually just thought the other day about how I love that program and I love giving hypnotherapy sessions, but I need to receive one myself because it's been too long.
Right. I call it coaching the subconscious, which is really cool because you do it with the imagination, you do it with the subconscious mind. So here's the myth, is that clients are not in control when they're in hypnotherapy. You're in total control. Always. And your hypnotherapist or hypnotist will let you know that during the session. You will be prompted and asked, or you will ask your clients what they like, what they're comfortable with before you take them into a session, because we never want to unlock anything that's going to upset someone. Let's say someone doesn't like this water sound, and then I put on water in the background, right? It's like, as practitioners, we have to ask those front coaching questions to tee up a space that's going to be effective for your client. So it's like those little things that mean everything. And if they can't go there, right? If they can't go deep, if they can't go within and let their subconscious guide, you're just going to be talking for an hour-ish or 45 minutes, however long you want your session to be, and it won't be effective for them. But when you have that client in front of you that comes out, when you count them up and they're like, wow, I had no idea. And then when they can share, so either they remember it or they don't, which is totally fine. The stories that you hear, the affirmations that you get, that you took them to a place that helped them do some sort of work, is profound, right, Brian? How many clients have you had that come up when they're just like, oh, what was that?
Yeah, it takes the mind to a really amazing place. And I think not so much necessarily the realizations right after in the moment, but the more time that they have after to kind of process the experience in the session, having those little kind of aha moments and watching those little habits in life that kind of change and grow and shift because of the work that happens in hypnotherapy and connecting with the subconscious.
Right. It is powerful. So if you haven't had a hypnotherapy session yet, and you're thinking about becoming an advanced hypnotherapist, definitely try it. Like, past life regressions have fascinated me. I still haven't had one, Brian. I don't know why, but past life regressions, fascinating. And just the fears, the phobias, addictions, things that people want to conquer within themselves, and the profound power of hypnotherapy really can do that. Yeah, so, okay. And then last but not least is our yoga focused. So whether you're a yogi or not, whether you're flexible or not, you can become a yoga teacher. So we have the specialty that is offered so that you can step into being a yoga teacher, whether you know postures, whether you've been on a yoga mat or not, right? From the ground up, we build and teach you to be the yoga teacher that you're meant to be. And then you also learn yoga nidra in this specialty, which is similar to, I would say, very similar to hypnotherapy. Wouldn't you say, Brian?
Yoga nidra is very similar to hypnotherapy. Yeah, and similarities and differences. It's more of a yogic sleep. So it's like an alert and awake, kind of similar to hypnotherapy, where the subconscious can kind of drift. The goal of yoga nidra is to be alert and awake the whole time, but I still find myself kind of drifting like in those hypnotherapy sessions.
Yeah, and I experienced yoga nidra when I did my YTT program. I thought I wasn't going to be able to go under, but I did for the whole time. And and 1 hour they say is like, or 30 minutes is equivalent to like 3 hours worth of deep sleep. And it truly was. What's weird is I'm a light sleeper. So if there's snoring, if there's movement, if there's talking, if there's sounds, like I don't and can't go into that super relaxed space. But Laura McKenzie, my teacher who guided us, took me to that place for the first time, and I was like just enamored with it.
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
It too is powerful, and it's very effective for people like who can't sleep, right? People who have insomnia, people who have PTSD, maybe just overactive mind. It helps you get out of that space. It helps you to explore the physical body, right? Like one piece at a time. So it is like a mindful meditation, moving through the physical body. So it's taking your mind off the busy stuff. You're focused so that you can actually just let go and relax.
Yep.
Which is needed more and more in this world, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So in a nutshell, those are our amazing specialty focuses that you can combine as your coaching specialty. So we have a couple people in here today, Cherish and Tabby. Want to see if y'all have questions real time for us about anything about the curriculum. Yes. And let's just talk really quick, Brian, about length requirements. You know, this is a 71 to 75 calendar week program, which you'll get off, you get off Thanksgiving, Christmas, right? You get a 4th of July off that week. What other weeks do you get off?
Yep. Week
campus?
for 4th of July, week for Thanksgiving, 2 weeks, Christmas, New Year's. And then some little long weekends like Easter and Memorial Day. There's one other one in there, Labor Day, something like that. Yeah.
So you get little breathers, and they're needed. Like, let's be honest, they are needed, and it's okay.
And depending on the modalities you're in, I'm usually able to, and that as an advisor, my biggest thing is I want to be able to support our students so they can be happy, healthy, and successful. And no one's going to do that if they're in class 5 nights a week. So my goal here is to be able to support my students with moving their schedules around, shifting them so they can get everything in within those, I think it's 75 calendar weeks, something like that. And have those breaks in their schedule to take little breathers, to be able to integrate the work they've learned. Because we get it. I mean, we're adults, like we have lives, we have families, we have jobs. So to be able to come and take a program this incredible while doing all of those other life things and not get overwhelmed is, it's my favorite part of the job, to be able to support students to be happy and healthy and successful while they're here.
Amen. And then let's talk about schedule wise for on campus before I answer your question, Cherish. Brian, how many classes do they take at a time, and what are the hours involved?
So it would depend on the modalities. Typically, most of our programs for IHAP and Mind Body Wellness are going to be Monday to Thursday, 6 to 10 p.m. That's not to say that you have class every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but those are when the classes run. They kind of stagger throughout the year. So usually it's 2 to 3 classes a week, depending on the time of year. We also have classes that run on the weekends. So typically Friday night from 6 to 10 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It would depend on the modality. So if you're interested in that type of thing, connect with our admissions team and they can support you with understanding what your schedule might look like if you were to take yoga, if you were to take polarity, if you were to take holistic nutrition. But again, that's something that I like to sit down with when we have our first advisement. Every single one of my students I sit down with and we talk about their life, talk about their schedule, talk about how we can work it into their favor, so that they can feel like everything is working out for them while they're here.
Amen. So Sharice, Cherish, sorry, good question. She was asking if these options are the same and available online. It's a little bit different. So I did send you the program sheet for the online program. And I actually host once a week, I do group coaching so that we can connect more intimately. It's not public, right? On Facebook or social media. But that you can come, you can ask the questions, you can share your story, and it's really more about you. So the one for the online specialties are advanced professional hypnotherapy, the spiritual coach and healing botanicals and earth ceremonies. That one's different. And then we do offer the spiritual coach and end of life doula like on campus. So a little bit different, not as many specialties, but still very powerful and profound curriculum. Let me put that in here. It's okay if you're late. No, I did not answer that. And let me type that in here for you. So yeah, so you can, I'm gonna also put a link. I do coaching on the front end. So I talk with prospective students so that they can really get a feel for when is the right time, if it's the right time, if being an entrepreneur is really a good fit for them. And if not, you could always start small. So we're looking at the big picture here, right? We're looking at the Integrative Healing Arts Practitioner Diploma full-time. So if you're going to use financial aid, you'll want to fill out your FAFSA with our school code, which is 035933. And then let us know. But if you're not ready for full-time, you can go bite-size, which would be like starting with the specialty alone. So just a certificate of excellence, or even just one class, right? Let's just lean back into being a student in general. There's a way to start for everybody. So it's not just that. And the next one that I'll host, if you want to register, Cherish, is, I'll put the link here. It is via Zoom, and that will be October 26th, Thursday at 4 p.m. So let me know if you want to come there. We can meet and just share. So questions, last questions from anyone. Brian, final thoughts, feedback, any coaching questions or tidbits from you?
No, I don't think so. I think, well, I guess I do. So
Okay.
Cherish asked, can you just choose one specialty? And the specialties that we have here are designed to support our students with their vision that they have for creating a business afterwards. If you are interested in taking a combination, so Becca sent out the program sheet. And again, this is something you could talk to our admission teams about. But if you were interested in doing something like health and wellness coaching and also polarity, well, those aren't listed together on the specialty sheet. That's something that we could support you with when you come and learn about the programs to see if those modalities would work together on a schedule. The specialties that we have with those different modalities together, like I said, are to help support our students with their vision. So they align with those different goals and values that students might have. But that's not to say if you wanted to do end of life doula and also Reiki or holistic nutrition that you couldn't do all of those. But again, that's something that we want to be able to sit down and see if that would work on the schedule.
Yeah, perfect. So it looks like they both are looking at the online option, which is great. So there's those dates and times for you guys to join me. And then you can also schedule a one-on-one as well. That's totally valid. And I'll give you that link too if you want to talk with me just one-on-one as a coach to talk about the relevance, timing, financial aid, you name it. You can do that. So yeah. So Brian, do you want to share it all and invite everyone to Gifts and Graces next month? Just curious.
Yeah, thank you. So at our first Friday ceremony here at SWIHA, where we have every first Friday of the month, we have speakers come and talk about whatever they might be doing in the holistic health and wellness industry. And then afterwards, we have students and graduates who come and vend. They have tables set up. They might be selling oils and herbs. We have massage therapists, Reiki practitioners, sound healing, all that different type of stuff here at SWIHA after this talk. And this next one in November, I believe it's November 3rd, my partner Jasper and I will be leading a talk about creating confidence through self-connection. So she bringing in her more of the kind of physical side with the nutrition and the fitness, and myself with sound healing, breath, and the different modalities that I bring in, and talking about collaboration as well. So working as a practitioner, we're both graduates from SWIHA. So talking about how we create ceremonies together, how we work with clients individually and do workshops on our own. So yeah, we're very excited about that. So yeah, Friday, November 3rd at 6 p.m.
Very exciting. I'm very excited for you guys.
Thank you.
So this, just so everyone can see, you can meet with me one-on-one as a coach to kind of have the private coaching session. There are public coaching sessions as well, which I will put in the comments. So you can also join group coaching, which Cherish and Tabby, I gave you those, as well as my one-on-one option. So get curious. Come to a session, just have the conversation, explore the possibilities, and see where this new year might take you. Knowing that tuition will increase starting January 1st. So, Brian, as always, I want to thank you for joining me, for exploring and just doing your work too is a huge part of it. So thank you for being that male who's leading other males to do their inner work in this world. And thank you to those who showed up today. And for all the practitioners out there practicing what they preach, we appreciate you very much. So looking forward to seeing you on stage next month, Brian.
Thank you.
Tell Jasper she'll do great. And Cherish and Tabby, I'm sure we will be connecting soon. And for anyone who's on with us on social media or who will rewatch this, we are here to hold that space and explore the possibilities with you. All right, everybody. Looks like that's all for this evening. So hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. Make it intentional. All right. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Becca.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.